How far can we change? Welcome in the Live It, Lead It podcast, your brand new cast for business leaders, not only in IT, who want to achieve more in less time. Greetings from Europe. I'm your host, Olaf Kapinski. This time is an audio-only episode, so no camera around. So if you want to see me, then I invite you to hop back, one step back, to the episode 06, which I've done in front of a camera. You find it on the Live It, Lead It website, liveitleadit.com/LIT007. 06, that was the episode from yesterday. And now it's the 7th episode. And how far can we change? This is the main question of every training, of every podcast, of every initiative that you start to become better. And this is a podcast for people who are leaders or who want to become leaders soon. Business leaders who want to grow personally, and if you want to improve your life in general, then this is the program, this is the podcast for you. And this all requires some change. So let's go back to one of the further episodes a little. Let's start with how we experience the world. I said we all live in our own worlds. You have your individual world, and that's different than mine. That's different from the lady that sits next to you. We get input from the physical world via the 5 channels. You can see the world, you can feel the world, you can hear the word, you can taste the word, and you can smell the world. So this is the 5 channels where our brain gets input from, and then the main question is, what do we do with that input? In the neurolinguistic programming NLP, we talk about representation. So the representation is what we have in our brain. To give you a little example, what I mean by that, I'm just taking, the prime NLP example. I think it's a bit used, but I think it works for this case. How does a person do a phobia? And yes, stay with me. I know that lots of people say a phobia is nothing that we do, a phobia is something that we suffer under, and it looks like a phobia is something that happens in our brain. Let's leave it like that. When you talk to a person with a spider phobia, how this person is doing it, then they give you different impressions on the spider than a person who does not have a phobia. A person who has no spider phobia sees just, a little dot who is just moving and has some legs, and that's it. A person with a spider phobia usually gives you a different description of that. The representation of this spider is usually wolf size, and when you put that, and I don't go further into the details. They're represented differently. I don't want to give you spider phobia here. And from that point of view, when it's not what they see, it's what they represent. The representation of this spider is huge. And it's always a good idea, evolution-wise, to run away from a wolf-sized spider. This is how horror movies start. And when your brain tricks you out and throws a wolf-sized spider representation, and this is the last time that I mentioned this now, into your brain, then you better run. I mean, don't be stupid. The funny part is, it's only in your brain, or in the brain of this spider phobica. And it's the same brain, so to say, that increases this thing. And this same brain could easily color this spider, the representation of the spider in the brain of the phobica, can make it pink, can give it some boots, can give it a funny smile, can give it a hat on. And if you don't like the face of a spider, give it a gas mask on or something like that. So those things happen in your brain. It's the same, it's thoughts, it's only thoughts. And obviously there is a difference between thoughts, so to say. There is a difference between the thought that makes a person become a phobic versus the thought, I know how my email program works. I mean, it's both in your brain, so it's both thoughts. And to give this some structure, to give this brain thought thing some structure, I love the layer model of Robert Dills. Robert Dills, he created the layer model of NLP in the 80s. And I believe this is a very, very, very helpful model. I'm an engineer, so I like models and I like structure. So I'm kind of naturally attracted to that. And Dills gives the thoughts categories, so to say. The ideas, what you think is what let me give you the overview. He says the layers, or the brain works in layers, or the thoughts, you can categorize the thoughts in layers. And it's 6 layers. It's a 6 layers model. And the first is the environment. This is as I said, this is a representation of the environment. Everything that you represent is in the first layer of the Dills model, the highest layer of the Dills model. The second layer is the thoughts around your behavior. That's the second layer. Behavior is the second layer. This is what others can see how you act. This is how you speak, how you move, what you do with your facial expression, all of those things. This is everything. Every thought around that is in the layer 2, in the behavior layer. Under that, now it gets a bit more interesting, is layer 3. This is the capabilities layer. This is everything that you can do, and what I can do is in that layer. Dills categorizes this as the capabilities layer. Below that, layer 4 is the beliefs layer. This is what I know from the world, what I believe from the world. What is my beliefs of, I don't know, what is behind this evil eye that my neighbor gave me yesterday? Obviously, I do not know that, but I have a belief system that gives me, that pretends that I know that. Beliefs are is my knowing of the world, and the word believe sometimes doesn't fit, because this is usually the stuff that you know. It's not that you believe it when we talk about those things, and we talk about it in private. None of your beliefs you call a belief. Average persons call this is the knowing. This is like this. I have to work hard to make money. This is a physical law. This is, go away with all of those esoteric stuff. Everything beyond or which doesn't fit into that is nothing that people take serious, because it's not in their belief system. So what you know, we call your belief system. Below that is layer 5. This is identity. Who am I? What is my personality? Layer 6 then is the spirituality layer. This is all of your thoughts around your society, your maybe even religion. Where do I belong to? What's my group? What are my duties in that group? This is the core of this model. So this is the 6 layers of Dills' model, and this is how he structures the thoughts that we all have in our brain. It's the environmental representation, it's the behaviors, your capabilities, the belief systems or the beliefs, identity, and spirituality. So I give you an example how this works. Assume there is this speaker who does an awesome speech on stage. He's really good. The audience observes a behavior that the audience calls a good speaker's behavior. And what that can be is different from culture to culture. It's different from 10,000 things. Here in Europe, I would say it's entertaining. He's speaking openly to the audience. Everybody in the audience feels that the speaker was talking to them. So that means when I sit in the audience, then I felt that the speaker was talking to me, not to everybody else. So this is how here a good speech is explained. It should be entertaining, relaxed, preferably a bit on the funny side. So everybody hates those people who just speak like a sermon. This needs to be really entertaining, and it needs to be worth my time. So don't waste my time with boring stuff. This is the behavior of a good speech. To do that, to do those behaviors, the person who is on stage has to have a belief system that he can hold a great speech. Here is this person, and this person calls herself shy. And she knows that she cannot go on stage and hold an awesome speech where 500 people end up and stand clapping their hands and are shouting for more. This is not what she believes. Her belief system is that she is shy, that nobody likes her, and that she dies on stage. And we know those people. So, such a person cannot go on stage and hold an awesome speech. Even if you send such a person onto a rhetoric seminar, where she learns, you need to put your feet here, this is how you breathe, this is what you do with your hands, this is how you stand, this is how you do all of those capability things. Even if she learns it and you send her on stage, she will immediately get sweaty and in her brain she dies. The people are just eating her. The person with the good speech, the good speaker, when you talk to him, he tells you immediately, yes, sure, I am a good speaker. I can go on stage and it works. I'm not perfect, but I can hold reasonable speeches. This is how the people usually act or react when you ask them. They know, they are self-confident enough. They know I've done that before. I can do it. Even people who haven't done it before, there are enough people out there who haven't held a speech for 1,000 people. They know they can do it. So this is the difference. What do we do with that? Dilts didn't only set up this 6 layers model. He made a very important statement. Dilts' statement is, you cannot change the particular layer. You have to change the underlying layer. So, the two speakers. The lady speaker who is too shy, who knows that she cannot hold a good speech, versus the other speaker who knows that he can entertain the whole crowd up there. If we send the lady, as I said, to a seminar where she learns all of this and she reads and she listens to podcasts and she reads all of those stuff, how to hold a great speech, it will never work. Only if you work on the belief systems, you need to bring her first out of this belief that she cannot hold a great speech. Only, the message is there, it starts. Only when she changed her own belief systems, only when she allows herself to believe that she can stand on stage and entertain the crowd, only then it is useful to send her on some capabilities training and then send her out on stage. If a person has the belief, if I have the belief, for example, had the belief, I don't have it, but as an example, I can never ride a motorbike. I don't have a motorbike, I don't have a driver's license, and I'm playing around with that thought. And this is where I found this, because, I just come there in a minute. If I know that I cannot learn riding a motorbike in my age, I'm 47. If I know that, then it's quite useless to go to driver's school. Where do I came from that? I've shared that thought with my dad, and he just immediately said, yeah, well, boy, you're too old. And I thought, I'm too old? Dude, this is the time in life where I'm just, this is where it starts. I mean, I just have enough money. I can go. It's not that I have a driver's license, but I don't have money for a car or for a motorbike. I can have both. What's your point? No. He was extremely skeptical, so I found this out. If I have the belief that I can never never learn to drive a motorbike because I'm too old, too stupid, too whatever, then it's useless to send me a driving school. To me, this is the magic out of the Dilts model. He gives us some structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers, and the longer I chew on that, and this is some years now, the more I believe in that, You cannot change the layer that you want to change. You need to work on the layer below that. If you want to show a consistent behavior in the office, behaviors is layer 2, then you obviously have to have the certain capabilities. Sure. And you can only have those capabilities when you have the right beliefs. This is important for freshly promoted leaders. And I'm a bit hesitant because I'm afraid that this is not only limited on freshly promoted ones. But let me go down the road. Here is this tech department, 5 people, and the best tech person gets promoted. Yeah, I know this is definitely not the way how it should be done, but this is the way still how it is done. So, and then this person finds himself in a new role. This person then is promoted, proud team leader, tada, but he has no clue how leadership works. If that person stays in the belief system, that's maybe even an identity thing. If that person calls herself the best technician of the team, then she stays the best technician of the team. Even if the company sends her on some leadership trainings, even if the company, or if she just wants to somewhat change somehow a little because, it's fancy, there's those podcasts out there and they deliver good stuff. This is what they said, so I just listen to great podcasts. Welcome in the show. It doesn't work. It's not worth the time. As long as she stays with her identity, her belief, I am the best technician, she will never ever change to a great leader. The other way around. If she becomes, or if she says from herself, I am an awesome leader, then my bet is, you do not have to be the best technician in the team. If you identify yourself from the startup, from I am the new leader of this team to come, then you, if your company is not completely stupid, will be promoted and then you will skyrocket the team. Then you have never been the best technician. Okay, fair point. You don't need that. Leadership is a different role. But then you can, then you start from a different platform on, then you have a different identity. Identity change is a big thing in life. It's a really big thing in life. Some know that and some can change. So be aware when you are freshly promoted that you think about what you think about yourself. Are you still the best, whatever you were? Or are you now, sorry to say, the freshman leader? Yeah, you are a freshman, you have no experience and you have no clue and you will make tons of mistakes. Yeah, all of that. If you are there, continue listening because I want to share with you all of the mistakes that I've made. So I plan for some 100 episodes here. It's the identity change that has to happen. So why do so many people struggle when they get retired? Because they are now the performer in the office and next day they are the retired. And this is an identity change that you have to do. And lots of people don't do it. They aren't prepared for it. So then they are, the performers without office, without job, with their garden and with the pension, and the meaning of life disappeared. You can see it very, very often with retired people after their retirement. If you get promoted, have an eye on your identity. So, and if this identity change then happened, if you just take over the role, I understand, I am not a technician anymore. I am the leader of that team and I have a technical experience in the background in the past. Okay. Then you can start to work on capabilities. Then it makes sense to learn. Then it makes sense to listen to those leadership podcasts. And based on those capabilities, you then can express different behaviors. This is how it works. So, going back to the initial question, how far can we change? My answer is, as far as you want. It's only thoughts in your brain. The DILS model can give you a little guidance, a little assistance on where to start. You cannot start to change your behavior directly. That doesn't work out. You have to have the capabilities. And you have to have the right beliefs and identity. You cannot consistently act as a good leader if you call it a stage and it's a different reality, so to say, when you go in the office and when you play the leadership role. This is never consistent. This is never consistent, and it costs you a ton of time. I hear so many people saying that I'm a different person in the office. I believe that's the wrong way. The wrong way because it costs a ton of energy. You will slip, you will fall out of that role as soon as you get a little bit under pressure or if you're tired. There is a reason why actors are highly paid. This is what actors can do. They can do it consistently. And the better the actor is, the better the movies are, the more money they make. This is not what I'm aiming for us leaders. I want that you develop a leader's identity. That you are a leader, that you are the person who brings a bunch of people, an organization, and achieve better things than each of this individual could have done alone. If that's your identity, then you can work on your belief system. What do you believe about the world? How do people act? Then you go on the capabilities. Then you go on, then your behavior usually then comes naturally and follows. So how far can we change? As far as we want. The biggest thing, or the one thing that you have to have, I believe, is a great objective. Your goal must be big enough that you take all the additional energy consumption that a change takes. I've spoken about how to change and where to start in the last episode. And in the next episodes, we will talk about goals and goal setting and all that stuff and how I believe it works and why it's the most important thing in life, not in work, in life. There's a reason why I call this podcast Live It, Lead It. So that's it for today. I'm Olaf Kapinski, your host. Proud to have you in my audience. Write me if you like it. Write me if you don't like it. olaf@liveitleadit.com. And I think that's it for today. That's it for today. And bye for now.